So hello everyone, this is the Sports Show podcast. Today we're joined with Daire Russell. Daire, how are you, mate?
All good. Excited to be on here.
Good, mate, that's good. Right, just straight into it, mate. What could you start
No
us
worries.
in football?
Was it?
What could you started in the playing football?
To be honest, is my dad. Like my dad had me playing football from no age, but yeah, we play in the garden. I started playing matches when I was like 3, so I've been at it for ages. But it is him, but I do love it. Like
Yeah, lethal. Who'd you play for growing up?
I started at Newhill. I was at Newhill for near 10 years. I started playing for Newhill when I was like 4, properly in a wee team, and then went right up to like 14, 15, and then I moved to Carrick just to play a bit of a higher level. Stayed there for a few years, and then COVID happened. So I kind of fucked everything a wee bit, but then I moved to Clinville and then stayed there for about 2 full seasons and then I split over to America.
Lethal, mate. And that's, I was going to ask you about the youth football. What did you make your youth football? Did you sort of go ahead? You go on. What did you make of it?
But I know it's football here is interesting. But I definitely enjoyed it more when I moved away from New Hill. As much as I loved it there, it was just because the way here is obviously like the sectarians and all this stuff like that just kind of ruins it a wee bit. But when you get into academies and all, it's still there, but they try to to tend to veer away from it. So I definitely enjoyed it more when I got out of there, as much as I didn't really want to, but it was definitely for the better, like to get playing better football. And it's just a safer environment. The amount of times we have fights and all when we have just no good, but it's definitely getting better here, which is a good
100%.
thing.
It is. It is
Yeah.
100%. It's getting better, and that's the main thing. But
Yeah.
what was your time at Cliftonville like?
I loved it. Loved it. I've always supported Clinville. I've never been a diehard Red, but I would have went to matches when I was younger, and I was at Carrick and I was happy. And COVID just ended. COVID, well, not ended, but football was just starting to come back. And I just got a dad got a text or something from one of the managers over there, under 18s manager. Basically, just a trial message, like wasn't anything crazy, just to come down for a few trials. I was doing well at Carrick and all, but I just kind of there was a risk to be fair, like because they had a good squad. But I just really wanted to. I was just kind of obsessed with the idea of playing for them, and it was closer and stuff. So I
Yeah.
went down, and I wasn't getting a lot of game time to start, but I kind of stuck to it and worked my way up the reserves and stuff. But our last year was really good. Played centre half, started the whole season. We had a bit of a disappointing end. We got beat in the Harry Kevin final, but I have nothing bad to say about it. I enjoyed every minute of it. Like I would love to go back when I'm older.
Lethal, mate, lethal. And then obviously you moved over to America now and you're playing football over there. How did that sort of opportunity come about?
it's, it's like the main way to do that here would be like through an agency. I've always had this idea of going to America when I was younger, like maybe from like 14,
Right.
but never really knew how to do it. But once I got to like 17, going into like my last year of school, I sort of realised it could be a chance. There's a chance I could do this here. So I started really looking into it then, and basically, your way to get over is agencies because there's such like a complicated process. You can't do it on your own. So you do pay an agency fee, but you need it to be fair. And they're some depending on who you pick, they're really helpful. Like they'll get you through it, and basically they'll set up like exhibition matches, and they'll also like make a highlight reel for you and get you in contact with school. That's the big thing. Like if you do it on your own, there's no contact with schools. You just kind of the only thing you can do on your own is like send emails or something. But if you've got that agency who's like a trusted like source for schools, they'll trust them, and you get your name over there. And the main thing's your video because they can't come watch every game when they're across in America. You need to have not a good highlight really. We just need to have footage. You need to have games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's it basically. Yeah.
Yeah. And did you go over on your own or who'd you go over with, and how is life kind of been like over there? Like who you living with? Are you living the sort of, I know sometimes if like I've heard this in the past whenever maybe people leaving school and they go over to play for an English club, they would maybe go in with a family to stay. What sort of way is it like that in America for you?
When I went over, I did, and I didn't go for my own. So I had no friend. I didn't have no friends who were doing it with me, but there was a few boys from here going over, and
Okay.
we sort of, we all committed to the school and stuff. We got in contact and sort of like we met. Like I met them for the first time in the airport, so it wasn't as if we were mates, but we were in contact and like booked their flights, same flights and stuff. So it wasn't like a completely solo trip, but it was still scary jump to be fair, like just going over by yourself. But they in the first year they put you up in like dorms. That's just the way to do it in America. Like you have to do dorms in the first year. So I had a bit of an experience like because they tend to like not keep the football boys together to get you a bit like used to the place quicker. Instead of if you just stayed in the same rooms, you'd never really talk to anybody else. So it is like an apartment, but there's four in it, and there's two bedrooms, so there's two in each bedroom. So that's only for the first year though, but I didn't love it, like, but it was a good experience getting to meet other people and all. But this year I have my own. Me and a load of our a load of teammates have our own apartment.
Uh,
So yeah, basically you have in our school. I don't know if it's every school, but you have to do 1 year in the dorms, and then you can move off campus. Even though these apartments are still technically owned by the school, but they're proper apartments. You know what I mean? And you can pick who you live with. So that's basically it.
Amazing, mate. Happy days. And what would you say overall outside of football? How would you rate your life in America so far?
I love it. I love it. I do love getting back because I'm not a homebird, but I love seeing everyone. But I
100%.
wouldn't change it. Like I love the weather. Weather was really good. Just different way of life, you know. People they're just different. It's not just seems a lot happier. It does have its cons, like America. There's no paid in America's flaws, like, but you don't see it on a day to day, like most of the time. And I just feel like it's a better quality life, to be honest. There's a lot more to do, better weather. I just feel like I'm always shitting on the weather here, but it is bad, like, and people are just a lot more unique or something. I don't know. People just tend to be not like it's people here, not everybody, but it just tends to be people do the same things or I don't know, wear the same stuff or just sometimes it's just a bit of a like a horde here, but over there it's a bit more unique. You can express yourself a bit more. I just feel like it's a bit more happier, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose I know what you're on about. What part of America are you in, by the way?
Georgia. It's Savannah, Georgia, so it's like at the tip of Florida. So you get to get weather like
Lethal, you'll be buzzing then.
uh, uh,
um,
get burnt air, like, but it's good.
the pros and the cons. But anyway,
uh,
how would you see compared to the football standard here? Obviously, you've played at multiple standards. You've played of maybe Newhill, maybe that would have been the South Belfast League. Would they have been in
yeah,
that
yeah.
time? Baymon's, and you went up playing for Cliftonville, Carrick. So you know the standard of football. How would you rate the standard of football here compared to over there?
People ask me this all the time. Like it's, I would just if I had to like shorten it down, I'd probably just say like playing for Cliftonville, like close to like in the reserves and stuff. I'd say it's similar
Yeah,
in terms of like standard of player, but it's just a completely different game. They just the intensity is a lot higher here, so I honestly feel like a lot of teams here would do well over there. But if you went player for player, I think like there'll be better players over there. It's just because you're mixing a lot of different football cultures. Because our team, there's obviously a few Americans because that's where you are. There's a few of us from the UK. There's like Germans in there. There's like a couple of Scandinavians, and there's like a load of South Americans and stuff. So you're like mixing a load of football cultures in there. So it's a bit weird. Like team by team, it'll be a different game. You might play one game where it's like a really high intensity, basically a booting match, and then you'll play against another team that's a bit more cagier, really good footballers, but they're just passing around the backs. Here, there tends to be every game you're going to at least expect a high intensity, but it wouldn't be like that over there. But standard of football, that I'd probably a little bit higher over because people are these they're nitpicking people from all countries, so you're going to get high quality footballers. But honestly, I feel like my team here before I left, I feel like we could do all right. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
So it's interesting, hard to compare because football culture is a lot different. You know what I mean?
100%, mate. And how would you rate the facilities over there at your school?
At our school's a weird one. We have decent facilities, but our school is an arts school, so they don't. A lot of schools will build like world class facilities because they kind of rely on their sports programs.
Mm.
So they'll like incentivize players to come by like pumping like millions, hundreds of millions into their facilities. Our school doesn't need to do it, but they have like in certain areas. But there definitely is areas where they're probably behind compared to other schools. But they're getting better. They just got like a fund for like 10 million to just like revamp all the like the changing facilities now, and they're adding like, new dugout and also they're doing us a favor basically because we do bring in money for the school, but at the end of the day they make so much more money off all the students. They don't rely on the sport, but there is teams in our league we'll go to, but the facilities would be unreal. But that's because like they're a soccer school, you know what I mean?
100%, yeah. And how many years is left in the school? Have you maybe
Three. I've got
three?
three left.
And
Yeah,
then
so.
after that, will how does that work in terms of the school? Do they sort of surely they don't just leave you on your own then? Would they sort of put you on to another team or what? Do you know? Would you know what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah, I know what you mean. They would and they wouldn't. It's kind of they'll not do anything. Well, they might. You have support post like graduation and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
So you will have support. They're not left to your own, but they don't really have to. They don't really have to sort you out because if you're playing at that standard, like there's a lot of people that realize, but there's a lot of pro levels in America. It isn't just the MLS. There's lots of tiers. So coming out of college, like if you do a 4 year in college, like you could get the pro team, but you also have the degree to fall back on as well. Like if you want to go into jobs, like our school, the degree from our is like it's a really good school. You know what I mean? Like if you pull a degree out of here, like you look well upon by employers and stuff. So they will support you to a degree, but they don't really have to do much because at the start of the year they're reading the statistics and it was like the graduates have like a 99% employment rate, which they don't really need to do much if that's what the case is like. So
Yeah,
I still don't know what I'm going to do after, but I just plan on staying there. You know what I mean?
yeah. Staying over
Guess we
there.
have to wait. Like, yeah, guess we have to wait it up if there's an offer to go play football somewhere. If it's worth it, really, because as much as you'll be getting paid nice money, it's very expensive to live there. So you need like weigh it up. You know what I mean? Because you're more likely going to need to have a job as well if you want to have a decent life. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But it just depends. You've got 3 more years. Anything can happen. You know what I mean? In 3 years, you could like kind of blow up because see getting into the MLS and stuff. It's kind of just like a you have to get lucky. You have to like get lucky in a big moment and just get your name about there. So it's a bit of a different system over there. Like there's like drafts and stuff. It's kind of a popularity contest sometimes, but the good players will rise to the top. But some people might get there quicker than others just through a bit of luck. But anything can happen in 3 years. You know what I mean? I don't really know where it's going to go in the next 3 years.
yeah, I suppose. And are you studying at the time as well as
Yeah,
balancing football? And what are you
uh,
studying?
I did advertising and branding.
Little. And how do you find that balance of playing football
It
and
is.
studying?
It's tough, but I suppose I'm only talking from a first year experience. The workload just gets heavier and heavier, so it can be tough. Like, but you just like you like the work we're doing as well in advertising. It depends. Some people at our school do really awkward degrees where not awkward, like it's what they want to do, but it may be like a practical degree, so they have to have like engineering or something. So they might have like physical things they need to work on, which is it's tough when you have matches to go to and all, and like away trips. But we can do all our stuff on computers, so as long as you just manage your time well, like yes, you have a lot of football commitments, but like you have a lot of time off as well. So it's basically up to you. You know, what I mean, you can make it really stressful, or you can sort yourself out and kind of plan ahead and get stuff done, or just plan it out evenly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And lastly,
But we'll see
before
how it goes next couple of years.
lethal. Lastly, before we go, how's your time been back in Belfast?
I've enjoyed it. The weather's been awful. Like it hasn't really
Yeah,
greeted me
brutal.
well. Like, but I haven't. There's been about 2 days of sun since I came back, and I've been here for about 5 weeks. But no, I've loved seeing everybody. I have a girlfriend of her, and she came here with me for the first couple of weeks, so that was a bit of an experience getting to show basically a tourist around Belfast. But I know I've had a great time. I haven't seen my mates in about 6 months. I haven't seen the family in about 6 months, so it's good to see everyone.
Happy days, man.
But I'm also looking forward to getting back.
Yeah, that's it. Get back to the good weather.
Nah,
Amazing. Dar, thank you very much for coming on. It's
no
been
worries. I
great.
appreciate it.
See you later. Cheers.
All right, what's that?